Hey, it's Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid, and it is January 22nd, which means the 22nd issue of Transformers. And check this out, remember, it was published in 1986 by Marvel Comics, so all along here you got a bunch of Marvel characters. They're not in the book, but they're just around here. So it's also the 25th anniversary of Marvel Comics. So that is probably why they've got all their characters on there. You got Wolverine, and you got Thor and Captain America, all those characters on the front cover. But you also have the face of Menasor. Okay? Menasor is the character, it's the combiner form of the Stunticons. So we're getting the Stunticons in this issue. So, let's see. We open it up. The issue is titled Heavy Traffic. Okay? So we're looking here at some footage of the Transformers that came across, the Autobots that came across the space bridge in issue number 18, and they're trying to talk with the vehicles that they see here, that have, they're trying to converse with it. It's actually a footage that's being watched by Mr. Barnett and also Circuit Breaker. And Circuit Breaker is saying that that these robots are attacking, where Barnett says, well, possibly they're talking to them. And so what happens is Circuit Breaker is recounting how she and R.A.A.T took down the 7 Autobots that we saw at the end of last issue. They all had their heads cut off and they're mounted on a wall. Circuit Breaker was, in charge of that. So she's relaying the events of how that they were captured and the means that R.A.A.T used to do it. So what they did is they had this like foil stuff come down on top of them, and then the individual like commando guys attached something to each of the Autobots that was like a conductor, and then Circuit Breaker jumps out of the helicopter and she basically lights them all up. Right there. She lights them all up and knocks them out. And so easy peasy lemon squeezy, they are now loaded onto some flatbeds and brought to that mysterious bunker. So Circuit Breaker, she says the operation took 46 minutes for the whole thing to happen. And, Circuit Breaker gets congratulations. They're actually bringing her a bonus for getting that done. And I guess Barnett sought her out from the I.I.I, which is the Information and Intelligence Institute, part of the United States government. It oversees R.A.A.T, and Walter Barnett, he's I.I.I.'s liaison officer with R.A.A.T. And R.A.A.T is the Rapid Anti-Robot Assault Team. That's what R.A.A.T stands for. So, yeah, that's what R.A.A.T. And Circuit Breaker is the person in charge of that. She recounts why she hates the Transformers. So back in Transformers issue number 6, the Decepticon attack, crippled her, and that made her, work and become Circuit Breaker. So she has this, this outfit, this uniform on that's all metal that allows her to conduct electricity and reprogram computers and things like that. So what she's doing now is, she's going to decode the microchips of the Transformers. And here we see the wall of mounted heads. We head back to the Ark, and at the Ark, Ratchet is still working on Optimus Prime's wound from issue 19, and Bombshell has now made his way on the back of one of the Aerialbots. He's made his way into the Ark, so there he is in the corner, and he inserts a Cerebro shell into Optimus Prime's open wound so that the Cerebro shell can go in and he can control Optimus Prime. So the Cerebro shell makes its way here, let's see, it makes its way through Optimus Prime's circuitry to the brain module, and it takes root, and Bombshell says the shell functions, now Optimus Prime is mine. Wait, I can only monitor his thoughts, I can't control them. So he can't control Optimus Prime's thoughts, he can only monitor them. And so he can hear what Optimus Prime is doing or thinking. I'm not sure exactly how this technology works, because you'll see in a little bit something crazy kind of works there. So we got Wheeljack and Skids, and Donnie Finkelberg's there again, and the Transformers, the Autobots, basically say that you'll be released once we find the 7 Autobots. And he's like, you can't keep me here. So Skids kind of shakes him down, picks him up upside down, and shakes out his wallet. And he understands, because he's an anthropologist, he understands that humans are motivated by money. And he finds this $25,000 cashier's check. As you'll know, Donnie Finkelberg was paid $25,000 to be Robot Master by the I.I.I. early on, a few issues ago. I forget exactly which one was the Robot Master one. I think it was 14. And does it say 15? I'm wrong. 15. So he earned that money when Walter Barnett hired me to play Robot Master for the I.I.I. in issue number 15. And so they're going to hang on to that check, and Skids is going to take him and look for the Autobots. Skids now has a monitor to find Autobot fuel, so he can kind of track it down. So Skids is now a tracker, which is interesting because a couple of issues ago, Skids was being tracked by Ravage, and so was Donnie Finkelberg. Okay, the Aerialbots almost killed a bunch of humans in the last issue, and that's kind of glossed over. But in this issue, their minds are wiped, and Optimus Prime uses the creation matrix once again. So basically, they get killed and then they get reborn. Optimus Prime gives them their full programming and their life again with the creation matrix, because they still need them. And they figure that all the guys, they didn't have all their programming. They didn't understand the importance of protecting human life. And so, because this is the weird thing. Because Bombshell has put that cerebro shell inside of Optimus Prime and he can monitor his thoughts, well, apparently they can use the creation matrix when Optimus Prime uses it on the other side. So Megatron is now, I don't know, he's got some funky headphones on. Somehow he's attached to Optimus Prime. And when Optimus Prime grants life to the Aerialbots, Megatron shares that and gives life to the Stunticons. I don't know how that works. That's crazy computer science from the Transformers, and I don't know. He shares it with Megatron. Megatron then creates the Stunticons. Okay, fine. So Skids and Donnie Finkelberg are out driving. It's a rainy day. They're looking for the Autobots. They can still pick up the Transformers fuel. Meanwhile, some woman goes off the road, smashes into a light pole, and Skids transforms to save her and takes off the wires and saves the woman. That news gets to R.A.A.T, and Barnett actually shows Circuit Breaker this news broadcast saying that a Transformer saved a woman, and he's like, possibly these aren't all bad, and she's like, they're all bad. She has no love at all for any Transformer whatsoever. At the Decepticon base, the Decepticons have now created the Stunticons. So we have Dead End, Wildrider, Breakdown, Motormaster, and Dragstrip. So all those guys. And so the Stunticons are now, in the cartoon, the Autobots got the Aerialbots because they had no air superiority, and the Decepticons got the Stunticons to fight the Aerialbots, and also to pretend that they were Autobots because they were cars and stuff. And so that same scheme is going to be in play here. The Stunticons go out on the road, and they are in search of Skids. They find Skids at a motel, and where Donnie Finkelberg stops for the night, and then the next day they get back out on the road and they go looking for the other Transformers. But the Stunticons are on the road too, and they are causing havoc. They're knocking over cars, and they're coming after Skids, who's stuck in gridlock, but he's not going to reveal himself at this point He's not. So he radios to the Autobots that they're under Decepticon attack, and the Decepticons then transform, and they start attacking pretty much any car on the road. And Donnie gets out of Skids, and Skids, he's going to transform. But R.A.A.T comes up, and they begin to engage the enemy. And, the Motormaster is pretty smart. He sees that they're dropping that foil, and the rest of the Stunticons think, oh, we don't have to bother with that. Don't worry about that. It's just a bunch of humans. But Motormaster's like, don't underestimate the enemy, and he uses his gun to blow all of the foil away, knock out one of the helicopters. The R.A.A.T team falls out, and then Circuit Breaker, she jumps out, and she tries to attack using all of her energy and attacking the Stunticons, but without that foil conductor and without the things that go directly to the individual Transformers, she can't beat them, and she gets knocked out by Motormaster, who cuts off the top of a truck and slams it into the air into her and knocks her out. Although she's only knocked down because of her powers and stuff, she just floats down to the air. Donnie Finkelberg finds her, and she says the truck only grazed her, and now she's going to continue to fight the robots. And Barnett finds Finkelberg. He's like, you got some splaining to do. And the Decepticons continue to toss around cars. The Aerialbots show up, and they transform, and they're going to fight the Stunticons. The R.A.A.T Squadron is there too. Let's see. Donnie tries to say that the Autobots are the good guys. He tries to say the Autobots are the good guys, and Circuit Breaker says the only good robot is a destroyed robot. She absolutely hates them. And Barnett's like, wait a second, we already seen evidence that some robots appear to be beneficial. Maybe we should listen to him. He tries to listen to Donnie, and, and basically she calls him a robot collaborator, and, can't believe that a robot is a friend or anything like that. So, she's like, believes it's all lies and goes after him. And she has robots to smash. She does not want any part of thinking about any robot being good whatsoever. So the Stunticons engaging with the Aerialbots, and we shall get a big old beatdown between Superion and Menasor. And that's going to be a great fight. They attack each other. Menasor picks up like an overpass, and it gets blasted to bits, and you get a little bit of comedy there where Barnett's like, that just shatter an overpass to dust, and Donnie says, oh, I think it's an entrance ramp. Like it makes a difference. Makes no difference. Menasor takes a couple cars, crushes them up into a little ball, and tosses them over at Superion's head. So he is causing all sorts of damage here. They continue to fight, and we get Circuit Breaker using the last of her energy to zap Superion. So she's there, she's back at Superion's head. She goes to zap Superion, which she does. She zaps Superion. It gives the moment of Menasor to blast Superion, and Superion falls to the ground. Menasor is the victor, and Circuit Breaker uses all of her power, and she starts falling out of the air. Menasor is about to crush her, but Barnett pulls off some crazy action hero move, gets the helicopter to give him some rope. He wraps it around his hand, and he catches Circuit Breaker, and off they fly. Meanwhile, Superion is, just there on the ground. Possibly dead, definitely injured. Donnie and Skids, they go to another motel. Donnie walks off, shuts off Skids for the night. I guess they have a button where they can shut off to, recharge overnight. I don't know. And Donnie goes and he calls Barnett. And you know, he's like, look, I can give you a transformer. You know, give me 50,000 and I'll give you a transformer. And so he sells out skids. So that's how the issue ends. Anyway, this is Drew Bennett from Big Damn Kid. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook as Big Damn Kid. You can find me here because I do videos every day. And also, I'd love it if you subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think of the issue. Let me know if you think of me talking about the issues. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Anyway, thanks for watching.